So as part of our Indian polity preparation, first we need to understand what is the purpose of the constitution. Why constitution is considered as the holy book for any country, especially for a country like India. If you understand the reason or the purpose of the constitution book, then it would be easy for you to prepare for the examination. So please understand that I won't call Indian constitution or Indian polity directly. I would consider Indian constitution as part of governance. So please understand governance. The major source is governance. What do you mean by governance? Nothing but ruling people. Ruling. Who will rule is government will rule. And whom they will rule is the public or people. So please understand that for an area to administer, or for an area, if you expect an area to be peaceful, or if you expect an area to be good for your life, we need to look after that government and people should be in line. That is, there should be a relationship between government and people. This relationship is being done in the name of what? Governance. To maintain that relationship properly between government and people, we require certain rules and regulations. Generally, we have in our schools, colleges, at our workplaces, we generally have rules and regulations, right? Same wise, even government, when it is trying to administer the people, it requires certain rules and regulations and principles. So that rules, regulations and principles you will find out in a book called as nothing but Indian Constitution. Now this is that constitution which we are learning as part of our UPSC or state services examination. Please understand, the objective behind inculcating Indian constitution as part of your syllabus is to make sure you are going to become an administrator. So the government expects you to have minimum knowledge on the administration, how does it happens. They won't expect you to know all the rules and regulations, but at least you should have an awareness of knowing about the minimum things, how it happens in the government. So for that process development only, for making you to learn that from your preparation only, the government, that is UPSC board, or it can be state services boards, state public service commission boards, everyone will inculcate Indian constitution as one of the most important part of your syllabus, right? So please understand that Indian constitution objective is to make the government and people relationship to run in a smooth way. Why it need to run smoothly is to make governance proper. And please, and also make a note here, the government can be of various types. It can be, monarchical type, it can be anarchical type, it can be, even democratic type. In a democratic country, Indian constitution plays a very, very, very major role. That is the reason Indian constitution is considered as holy for the whole, holy book for anything to happen in this country. So please understand, in a democratic country, the constitution plays a major role for the existence of proper relation between government and people. So this relationship, this particular relationship between these two people, these two setups is being maintained by Indian constitution. So as part of this only, we will learn about Indian constitution. So let's see what is the syllabus of Indian constitution. So put the heading syllabus of Indian constitution. Syllabus of Indian constitution. See, most of the students, they have a myth that I need to know about all the 395 articles. No, you need not know all the 395 articles, but you have to at least have an idea what is there, what is not there, and you need not mug up that articles. Only few of them you have to completely have a grip, and the rest of the articles, even if you do brush up before your examination, that would be sufficient. So what is the syllabus of Indian constitution? Indian constitution is not something new which evolved today or yesterday or 10 years back or 70 years back. It's not like something which evolved 70 years back. Indian constitution was evolving for many years. It's not just what we see in 1947 or 1950. So how you are going to learn is Indian Constitution evolved in two phases. One is pre-independence phase and the other one is post-independence phase. Means if you want to learn Indian Constitution, you have to know about these two phases. Again, pre-independence phase is categorized into two. One is right from 1773 to 1857 and from 1858 to 1947 we have to know how is Indian Constitution. Why 1773 is because in this year only the first regulating act was initiated by British government. Please understand from the title, it's a regulating act. Regulating means what? Controlling. So British government had started controlling the Indian land from 1773 by issuing some rules and regulations which we will learn in our next video. That rules and regulations started from 1773, so you have to see it up to 1857. Again from 1858 to 1947. Why only you have divided? You should think why I categorized it up to 1857 and from again 1858, because in 1857 we had the revolt, first revolt of independence, that is 1857 revolt. You also called it as Sipahi mutiny. Please understand, in 1857 because of this Sipahi mutiny or revolt, there was a change in British approach towards Indians. That approach you can see it reflecting in the rules and regulations. That is the reason there is a change in the rules and regulations from 1857 to 1858. That we call it as a second phase in pre-independence era. So from 1858 to 1947 we will be undergoing what? The second phase. Now if I come to post-independence era, we all knew that we got independence in the year 1947. I would categorize for convenience from 1947 till 1949, or I would say 1950. We should know what is the status of Indian Constitution. In the sense, from 1947, though we are independent, we are still following the government rules, British government rules up to the time we have adopted Indian Constitution. From 1950, our original Indian Constitution has come into existence. So please understand, post-independence, I am categorizing the Constitution from 1947 to 1950, and post-1950 we will learn. So this 3 years we have to know what happened to the Indian Constitution. Once the Indian Constitution came into force from 1950, we have to know what all changes have been there. Is it still the same Constitution which we have adopted in 1949, or do we have any changes after 1950? That we will learn, right? So please understand, I have categorized the syllabus of Indian Constitution for our learning, to make our learning easy, as into two phases. One is pre-independence phase and the second one is post-independence phase. Pre-independence phase I categorized into 1773 to 1857 one phase, and 1858 to 1947 as the second phase, and post-independence I categorized it as 1947 to 1950, because these 3 years our Indian leaders are busy in framing up the Constitution. They are drafting the Constitution. So what happened during the drafting time, we will learn it as 1947 to 1950. And from 1950 our Constitution came into force, that is from Jan 26th our Constitution came into force, which we are calling as Republic Day. From that day onwards, what happened to the Indian Constitution, what are the changes, this is what we will learn as part of our syllabus, right? So this is just an outline. So let's get into the syllabus in detail. So if you remember, I told you that Indian Constitution purpose is to make governance, or to make sure that the relation between government and the people is proper. So how the Constitution is being divided, let's see here how the book is. When you open the book Indian Constitution, right, usually the same thing happens to us also. Okay, when you see a book, first thing is you will see the cover of the book, when you get into and you will see outside how it is, and when you open the book you will see a word called as foreword, preface and all. That is how the constitution is, right? So the same thing also will follow for Indian constitution. So as part of this learning, for making the pre-independence era, how the constitution evolved, the first chapter would be about historical underpinnings of Indian constitution. Historical underpinnings of Indian constitution, that would be the first chapter, as I have discussed before, under pre-independence era. So in this historical underpinnings, we will learn about Indian constitution from 1773 to 1857 and 1857 to 1947. Second chapter would be, I told you, second chapter would be about post-independence. Post-independence, that is making of Indian constitution. Making of Indian constitution, that is from 1947 to 1950, how the constitution evolved, how the constitutional framers set the rules, who are the members of the Constituent Assembly, who were the chairman of, of the drafting committee and all, we will know as part of the second chapter. As part of post 1950, the next chapter, that is the third chapter, would be about the salient features of Indian constitution. See you'll buy a book. By seeing the book, you will try to observe what is the book, how is it, how many pages are there, is it bulky, or what is the rate and all, you will see, right? Same wise, we have certain features for Indian constitution that we will learn as part of salient features of Indian constitution. Now, after seeing the features, you will open the book. The first page we generally see is what? Editor's note, preface, foreword, these kind of, you see this kind of heading in your book. Likewise, in Indian constitution also, you have such a setup called as what? Preamble. Okay, which actually gives you a gist what is the book about, right? So the fourth chapter is preamble. And from fifth chapter, please understand that, again I revise, Indian constitution purpose is for what? Governance. Who is doing governance? Government. And for whom it is doing? People. The government, I will call it as state. State in the sense is not states, please understand, it is country. So the fifth chapter will be about Article 124, which speaks about India and its territory. Because who is going to govern? Country. Which country it is going to do is India. So definitely we should know what is India, what all comprises India, okay, how India is formed, how many states are there, is it the states only we have, or we have union territories, and how states are divided, how states are combined, what is the process of dividing the states and naming the states or renaming the states, everything you will find it out under Article 124, which give you a glimpse about the government. Next chapter would be, so the government part is done, right? The next chapter would be the other part, who is also responsible in governance is people. So the next chapter speaks about people, that is citizens of India. So the next chapter is related to citizenship. So Article 5 to 11 speaks about citizenship. Who are called as citizens of India? Who are not citizens of India? Do they have rights like equivalent to citizens, or do they have any limitations? What are their limitations? What is the process of obtaining citizenship? How a citizenship can be terminated? You will learn it under Article 5 to 11 called as chapter citizenship. Now, why this chapter is being included? What is the purpose is, when we got independence, the whole domain, Indian domain was divided into two, British India was divided into two groups. One is India, and the northwest frontier was divided into Pakistan. So, and British gave an option that people either can stay in Pakistan or they can stay in India. So the question is, People migrated from here and there, here and there. So who will be called as Indians, who are not called Indians, we should know, which you will find it out under Article 5 to 11. Apart from this, we see many illegal migrants in any country. That is it's a general problem. And in today's scenario, where we having the world is running out with so many tensions, like in Syria, you see people running out. Those kind of situations happen even in the countries around India. Example, Rohingyas. So now Rohingyas are migrating into India. We have so many issues regarding that. So we should be able to identify who are our people, who are not our people. For that reason only this particular chapter is being incorporated, that is Article 5 to 11, citizenship. And the third point is, today so many of our brothers and sisters are residing outside India. Some of them are going for jobs, some of them are going for as part of their marriage, some of them are going for their education, some of them are settling permanently, some of them are coming back. So we should know whether their descendants should be called as or termed as Indians or not. So for that reason also, the chapter Article 5 to 11, citizenship, will give you the information. So 1 to 4 is talking about the government or the country. Article 5 to 11 is talking about what? Citizenship, that is people. Now the next chapters, whatever is there, the next chapters will speak about, means the rules book is not just about defining what is a country, what are people. The rules book speaks about how people should be, what are their rights, what are their duties, how a government should function, how a government should rule, on what principles it should rule. Everything would be incorporated in Indian Constitution. If problems arises, how they need to solve, who will be solving the issue, everything is there in the Indian Constitution. So the next chapter speaks about that is Article 12 to 35, that is fundamental rights. Very important, very important. So Article 12 to 35 is talking about fundamental rights given to people of India. I am saying about people of India, I am not talking about citizens of India, I am talking about people of India. People of India means they can be Indian citizens, they can be even aliens, they can be even foreign citizens as well, who are living in India as part of their jobs. So fundamental rights, Article 12 to 35 is not just confined only to Indian citizens, it is even extended to people. I mean, we should not use the word citizens, we have to say that it is extended to people of India, means people of India can be aliens, enemy aliens, friendly aliens. Again, you have enemy aliens, friendly aliens, you have citizens as part of this people, and the third category we have what? Foreign citizens living in India. Citizens living in India. So for them all, what kind of rights do they have? Is it same for all, or do they have any such restriction? You will learn under chapter Article 12 to 35, that is about fundamental rights. So see how you have to understand the link. This is about who are people. This is what is the rights given to such people. Next chapter is about Article 36 to 51, which speaks about DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. So under this chapter, as I told you before itself, again see here 1 to 4 is India and territory, 5 to 11 speaks about citizens, who are citizens, and 5 to 11 speaks about citizens, 12 to 35 speaks about the rights given to people of India. Now 36 to 51 is speaking about on what principles a government should rule, or how a government should govern the people, is mentioned clearly under Article 36 to 51, that is DPSP, which you call it as Directive Principles of State Policy. Means under these rule numbers you will see the Constitution giving directions to the government how it should rule. Please understand this, very important, right? And you are expected to know all the fundamental rights, all the DPSPs without any doubt. At any point of time you should be able to answer them. Okay. Next chapter. Next chapter is about Article 51 capital A, which speaks about fundamental duties. Fundamental duties. Now here many of them will have a confusion. Let me clear you this. Whenever you see a separate, a capital letter in your articles, you have to understand that it is a separate, it's a separate article or a new article. For example, I will give you a best example, very popular one. Article 21, which speaks about right to life and liberty. Right to life and liberty. Now, also we have another article, Article 21 capital A. So, please understand, though the numbers seems to be same, you have an alphabet called as capital A. Since it is a capital A, whenever you see capital A's along with the articles, you have to realize them that they are being added in the constitution later. They were not present when the constitution was adopted in the year 1949. So, please make sure that whenever you see a word capital letter alphabets, you need to understand that they are new articles, they are not the clauses, they are separate articles. Okay. Now, sometimes you see within the articles small letters. Small letters symbolizes, or the small letters implies clause within that article. So, that is a major difference. Capital letter means it is a separate article or a new article, means that article was not there when the constitution was adopted in 1949, whereas small alphabets, when you see small alphabets, they are considered as clauses of that particular article. So, till now what we have seen is, again I will just go for a recap. We have seen, what do you mean, we have seen the salient features of Indian constitution, we are going step by step in the syllabus. The first lesson would be salient features of the Indian constitution. Second lesson would be about preamble of the constitution, that is nothing but foreword to the constitution. Third chapter would be under article 1 to 4, which speaks about what do you mean by India, what all comprises India, how states are formed, how states can be separated, who is having the authority of doing that, we will learn under article 1 to 4. And the next fourth chapter, that is article 5 to 11, which speaks about citizens, because we have to know who are our people, who are outsiders. So, that particular thing, in identifying who are our citizens, we have rules and regulations mentioned under article 5 to 11, that is citizenship. Next chapter, we have article 12 to 35, which speaks about fundamental rights given to the people of India, not citizens. 5 to 11 talks about who are citizens and not citizens, non-citizens, whereas 12 to 35 is being extended not just to citizens but to people of India. And article 36 to 51, 36 to 51 speaks about the principles given to the government, how it should rule the people. The guidelines, actually we should say directive principles of state policy are nothing but guidelines given to the government, how they need to make laws, on what basis they have to make laws and acts. And article 51A, it speaks about what? Fundamental duties, right? And please remember that in India, fundamental duties are not compulsory, they are voluntary in nature, though we have chosen fundamental duties from Russia, means we borrowed this concept from Russia. In Russia, fundamental duties are compulsory, whereas in India, fundamental duties are always optional. So, knowing up to this is one major task for you. If you are very confident from article 1 to 51A, the next section of the syllabus would be very easy for you to understand. Right? I hope you have noted down all this. So, let me get into the next part of the syllabus. To know about the next part of the syllabus, okay, you should understand what is a government in India, what are the characteristics of Indian government. So, before knowing about the lessons, we need to learn. I just need to explain few points here. I told you Indian constitution is for governance, that is for government. You have, you have forms of government, two forms of government. One is parliamentary form of government and the other one is presidential form of government. Also, government is in India, it is being divided into three levels. One is union government, next you have state government and also have local governments. Apart from this, we have a special category for governing in India, that is nothing but as part of union only we will learn is union territories. So, to understand the next chapters, you have to first decide, you have to know what is nature of Indian government. Is it a parliamentary form or a presidential form? Based on that, you have to first identify this. Then you will learn about government under 3 levels, that is union, state and local, along with union territories. Now, what do you mean by government? I am using this word very often. What government. Now, what do you mean by government? Is nothing but it's a combination of 3 organs, that is executive, legislature and judiciary. All these 3 organs function together, they form a web, they function together, which is nothing but called as what? Government. So, please remember this chat. You have to understand, based on this chat only, we will learn about the next part of the syllabus. So, once again I repeat, we first need to identify what is the form of Indian government, whether it is a parliamentary form of government or a presidential form of government. Next, we have to realize that we have 3-leveled structure or 3-leveled government, 3-tier structured government in India, that is union, state and local. Along with that, we have a special case called as union territories. We will learn it also as part of union. And you have to realize that the definition of the government is executive, legislature and judiciary. Right? Now, let us get into the next chapter. So, kindly follow this. Government of India. Government comprises 3 forms. What are those? Executive, legislature and the third category is judiciary. And it is 3-tiered structure. So, the first tiered structure is union government, the second tiered structure is state government, below that we have what? Local government. Now, please understand how we are going to segregate the syllabus. It is very easy. Union. So, the next chapter would be about the whole union government. The next chapter would be the whole state government. The next chapter would be about the local government. As part of union government, what all we will learn? Under union executive, means union government is classified into union executive, union legislature and union judiciary. So, what we will learn under union executive is, we will learn about president, vice president, prime minister, council of ministers and members of parliament. We will learn how president is appointed, how can he be removed, what are his powers, how is he a part of the government, vice president, what is his role, prime minister, how is he appointed, council of ministers, how are they appointed, how they can be removed, members of parliament, how they are becoming members of parliament, what are their powers, what are their qualifications, how they can be disqualified, how they are playing a major role in the government. We all will learn as part of what? Union executive. Now, union legislature. Union legislature means, under this we will learn about parliament. Again, parliament implies combination of president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay. So, parliament is nothing but a combination of president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Anyways, about president we have learned under union executive. Now, we have to emphasize more on what? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. How many members are there in Lok Sabha? How are they appointed? How they can be removed? Who is their gang leader? Nothing but the speaker. Rajya Sabha, how many members are there? How they become members? Qualifications, disqualifications, who is their gang leader? What are their powers? How bills are passed in parliament? If the bills are not passed, what are the options? Everything you will learn as part of what? Central legislature or union legislature, that is nothing but parliament. Also, we will learn, is it Lok Sabha superior to Rajya Sabha? Or Lok Sabha is having equivalent powers to Rajya Sabha, or Lok Sabha is inferior to Rajya Sabha. All this we will learn as part of what? Union legislature. And the next category, union judiciary. Under union judiciary, we will learn about Supreme Court, in the sense, what are the powers and functions of Supreme Court, how many judges do we have, how are they appointed, what are their qualifications, how they can be removed, and also we will see what is their special power in looking after the constitution. Everything we will learn under Union Judiciary. Next topic is state government. It's easy, now you will be able to do it. We have president at central level. So at state we will have whom? We will have governor. We don't have vice president, we have vice president at central level, but we will not have vice governor at state level. So we will just have only governor. Next, we have prime minister at central level. So we will have whom here? Chief minister. Council of ministers we have at central level. So we will have same council of ministers at state, we will have the category called as council of ministers even at state level. Here you have MPs. Here under state you will have MLAs and MLCs. Okay. Now, under state legislature, as part of state legislature, what we will learn is, under union legislature, we will learn about parliament, that is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Likewise, under state legislature, we will discuss about state legislature, which is a combination of what? Governor, legislative assembly and legislative council. Anyways, about governor, we have learnt it where? We will learn it at where? State executive. So you have to focus more on what? Legislative assembly and legislative council. So please understand, under state legislature, we will learn about what do you mean by legislative assembly, how many members are there. We need not know the numbers because all the states will not have same members under state legislative assembly. So we just need to know what are the qualifications to become an MLA, what are the disqualifications, what are the powers of legislative assembly and legislative council, appointment, how they are appointed, how they will be removed, elections kaisa hota hai, how the elections will happen, all we will learn as part of what? State legislature. And also we will learn the relationship between legislative assembly and legislative council. Likewise, here also we will learn the relationship between, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. As I told you, in some cases Lok Sabha will be superior to Rajya Sabha, in some cases Rajya Sabha will be superior to Lok Sabha, in some cases both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha play equivalent role. Likewise, we have to see even at state legislature. And one best thing is, under state governments or under state governments, legislative councils are not compulsory in all states. Please understand, bicameralism, that is having two houses under legislature, is compulsory only at central government level but not at state level. So state legislature, in all states we don't find MLCs. MLAs are, every state will have MLAs, but only few states in India have MLCs because in the constitution it is mentioned that bicameralism at central level is compulsory, whereas bicameralism at state level is just an option. It depends upon the government of the state. I hope you are clear. Next, judiciary. Under state judiciary, we will learn about High Court. Here we learned about Supreme Court, so we will learn about High Court. Along with High Court, we also learn about subordinate courts. Okay, so High Court, how many judges are there, how are they appointed, how they can be removed, what are their qualifications, who appoints them, what are their powers, are they having equivalent powers with Supreme Court or they are inferior to Supreme Court. We will learn it as part of High Court, chapter called as High Court, and also about subordinate courts. What is the hierarchy of subordinate courts, how subordinate courts are classified, what is their jurisdiction, means what level cases, what kind of cases they take up under subordinate courts. Everything we will learn under in the state judiciary. And the last section, which is local government. So under local government, who will be the executive is, you will have Sarpanch, okay, you will have president, you will have president. And one more thing I need to tell you here is, local government are again categorized into two, rural government and urban government. So in rural areas we will have Sarpanch, president. In urban areas we will have mayor. We need to know about them. And under legislature, what is the legislature and local government? Usually the local body laws will happen only at the state legislature only. But In villages, you have an option called as what? Gram Sabha. So, I will consider Gram Sabha as a a legislature body, local legislature body. And also in urban areas where the legislature matters would be discussed is in the council, municipal council. There the members will sit and discuss and bring out new rules and regulations. And what about judiciary? The subordinate courts, what we are learning at the state judiciary will be extended to where? Will be extended even to the local government, rural and urban governments have the judiciary, they have judiciary powers with respect to subordinate courts, or people living in rural and urban areas, they can approach always whom? The subordinate courts. So, this is our next chapters post Article 51A. So, I hope you understood. Now, by this only the syllabus is not yet done. Please understand, our responsibility is not just about knowing union government, state government and local government. We also need to find out the relationship between union government, state government and local government, which you will learn as part of a chapter called as center-state relations. We will learn it as part of what? Center-state relations. So, in your constitution or in for our preparation, our responsibility doesn't end about knowing about union government, state government and local government. We also have to emphasize on knowing about the relationship between central government, state government and local governments. How are they connected? How their relations have been classified? We will learn under a chapter called as what? Center-state relations, which would be the next chapter after union government, state government and local government. So, as we have seen that about union government, state government and local government, and I also mentioned you that there should be a relationship, we need to know about the relationship between central government, state government and local government. We will learn it under a chapter called as center-state relations. Center-state relations are being classified three types. One is administrative relations, means center and state will have relations related to administrative matters. They will have a relationship related to financial matters, very important. This is where the taxes part comes in. This is where there was the outcry was about GST. This is all part of what? Financial relations between center and state. And the other category of relation between center and state is legislative relations. So, the next chapter after union, state and local government is learning about center-state relations, that is administrative relations between center and state, financial relations between center and state and legislative relations between center and state. Now, so till now what I have covered is what do you mean by government? People, and also we have discussed about government, that is we have discussed the syllabus of government, that is central government, state government and local government. The next topic which we have to learn is union territories, because they are also part of India. India is nothing but a union of states and union territories. It's a group of or it's a federation of states and union territories. About states we have learned under state government. About union territories we will learn it under separate topic. So, under this union territories we will learn about what are union territories, what are their powers, how they are different, how they have been, how are they administered, who is responsible for the administration of union territories, right. And finally, after union territories, what we will learn about is the last two topics of the syllabus. The next topic of the syllabus is organizations. Please understand, for government, if need to do governance, it just can't do like that. It need a proper channel to do it. That proper channel or that proper setup, we classify it as what we call them as what? Organizations. These organizations are being classified into two types. One is constitutional organizations and the other one is statutory organizations. So, in your syllabus, as part of our preparation, you will learn about constitutional organizations and you will learn about statutory organizations. I will just give you an example. What do you mean by constitutional organizations? Organizations whose setup is directly mentioned in the Indian Constitution. Example, if you take rule number 324 or article 324, you will find out in the Indian Constitution that there should be an election commission. Now, election commission is called as constitutional body because the reference to set up election commission is directly mentioned in the constitutional book. That is the reason it is called as a constitutional body. Now, whereas statutory bodies are nothing but those organizations whose purpose is needed, but their setup is not directly mentioned in the constitution, still their purpose is served by establishing them through an act. Means Parliament will frame a law, according to that law or act they will set up such an organization. Such organizations are called as statutory bodies. Example, see, we need to protect the money of public money. Protection of public money is part of government responsibility only. Now, how government is making sure that public money is safe is by setting up an organization who will look after the protection. Now, who is that person who is looking after is RBI. Now, RBI is nothing but it's not a constitutional body. Please understand, it's a statutory body because RBI is mentioned in the according to or set up according to RBI Act 1934. So, please understand that statutory bodies are not directly mentioned in constitution, but their purpose is mentioned in the constitution. Their setup is needed for the welfare of the people. Such organizations will be done or being formed by the government through some legislation or through an act called as statutory bodies. Now, those statutory bodies are one such example of those statutory bodies are National Human Rights Commission. Okay, government's responsibility is to take care of what human rights of the people, but it is not organization is not mentioned in the constitution. It is being derived. So, how they are going to protect is by setting up National Human Rights Commission through an act. That is the reason NHRC is called as what? A statutory body. So, as part of your UPSC syllabus, as part of our preparation for Indian polity, we will learn about this constitutional bodies and we will learn about this statutory bodies. You have a whole list, we will discuss in the next video. The last topics which we have to learn about is few topics are there which we cannot ignore, that is knowing about STs, that is scheduled tribes. Who are called as scheduled tribes? What is the definition of scheduled tribe? How they are being administered? What is the role of government in protecting them? What all the constitutional provisions are given for the scheduled tribes? You will learn it under a separate chapter. Also, the other chapter which we will learn about is defection law. Defection law, that is which is one of the disqualification of members, means you will have some members, representatives, people's representatives like MPs and MLAs, they belong to one party, but they will start praising the other party, or they will, they don't speak about that party, but they speak positive about the other parties. Such people would be charged under defection. That also we will learn as part of our syllabus. So, all this comprises Indian polity, and each and every topic are having relevant articles. By this, Indian constitution is having 395 articles, and all these 395 articles are combined, are made into groups and segregated as 22 parts. Along with that, detailed information in a few articles is mentioned in a separate place called as schedules. Likewise, we have 12 schedules as on today, that is I am talking about 2018. Okay, don't get confused when I say 395. We have more than 395 articles, but number wise we have 395 only, whereas the same Indian constitution in 1950 we had 395 articles, 22 parts, but only 8 schedules. So, finally, if you check out the whole syllabus, we have segregated the syllabus based on the logic of understanding what is the purpose of the Indian constitution. From there we have derived how to remember the syllabus without mugging up. In the next video we will learn about the articles related to this government, and we will start off the new chapter called as Salient Features of Indian Constitution. Thank you.